All right, happy Friday, everyone. You're seeing here is me pulling out the DR just before fall officially kicks off. A couple of things. So if you look right there at the middle of that Acerbis cover, I'm pulling that off for the oil change. I had to cut the case, that little piece that covers the oil filter. I want to cut it separate from the plastic that's covering the clutch case. I'm going to use, you'll see later in the video, an oscillating handsaw to do that, and it's relatively easy to set up and do. I do it off the same power cord that I do my drill with, like you can see me up in the photograph or the video right there. Another thing that was happening was the bike had been sitting for a while. It started to develop a hanging rev. I think that over time, there's been a few times where I've had to use ethanol gas in the carburetor, and it's accumulated a little gunk here and there, and it's had to sit for a few days. So I thought maybe the main jet and the pilot jet were getting a little bit dirty. So part of that hanging rev issue that I was having, I put new hand grips on just to make sure that they weren't grabbing the hand guard or grabbing anywhere like a piece of rubber or something on the far outside part of the hand grip. Make sure it wasn't grabbing anything. So I put those on, and then ran a tank of gas through, and then I added the ethanol in. Once I added the ethanol free in. Once I added the ethanol free in, I put in 5 ounces of seafoam, so 1 ounce to every gallon, and ran that tank through. Halfway through that tank, the hanging rev instantly disappeared. It cleaned everything up. So if you're having a hanging rev issue before you go and tear your carb apart and all that, just go ahead and just run some seafoam through there with some good clean 87 octane gas. I still get a lot of people, and maybe it works for you, and if it does, that's great, but they swear by using higher octane fuels. I personally do not. I will continue to use 87 octane fuel, but 87 with some seafoam in it did the trick, fixed the hanging rev. It looks like right here, I've got the piece off now. Right before I make the cut, I'm just putting the filter cover back on just because I don't want any of that plastic from when I make this cut to get back into the oil filter area. So I'll set it on there, but this cut, even though we're running at 3 times speed, was super easy to make with this little handsaw. And you could use sandpaper if you wanted to finish it and make a nice pretty look, but I mean, DRs inherently by nature, they're not necessarily meant to look pretty per se. They're not really supposed to, they're not like a boutique bike, I guess you could say. But if you're a little bit of a perfectionist, 2 different grits of sandpaper, one to grind it down and one to smooth it out. You can have a nice looking separation right there. I'd like to thank Keep Swinging, and one more user I can tag you in the comments had added to put a gap in the part right here where the clutch part and the oil filter cover connect. Makes it easier to wash out all the dirt and stuff that might get in there. But I'm going to go ahead and reattach it right here. You can see in the film. Now I'm going to get ready to add the other one. When you pull it off initially, I would wait to get the Acerbis cover until you do your first oil change where you have to pull your filter out. You don't have to take your filter out on the first oil change, but I would wait until your second oil change when you actually pull the filter out, because when you order it from the factory and you're going to be taking it off anyway, I guess actually, honestly, you could just cut it the day you get it, though. You could do that as well. But, now I've made the cut. I've got that all done. But anyway, it took only seconds to do that. The new piece fit on easily. It went seamlessly. When I reset the first panel, I was a little bit nervous when I set this panel on right here that it wasn't going to work out. But what I was saying earlier was the filter cover will get kind of stuck in there, and I didn't want to be doing any cutting around that metal while it was stuck inside of that filter cover. Sorry if I'm a little back and forth rambling on with it, but I might sound a little bit ADD. But the point of that is just to tell you that if you're going to make the cut, it has a tendency to get stuck in the Acerbis. The filter cover has a tendency to get stuck in the Acerbis plastic piece. So what you want to do is, if you can, just cut it beforehand. Before you do any changes, or at least make sure that that metal's not in there so you don't accidentally cut your filter cover. Okay, so it's all together now. I'm putting everything back in. All right. Right, so we've had that. Yeah, now we've got our oil change done. Every 3,500 miles is what recommends US. I think that's 7,000 kilometers if you live outside the US. My oil wasn't even a full black. It actually burned nice and clean. For being a single cylinder bumper, it burned absolutely no oil, which I was assuming it would burn at least maybe like a quarter of the oil that was in there, but it didn't. It was actually very oil efficient. Suzuki's done a great job at ironing out whatever kinks they've had. You can hear my daughter in the background looking for her cousin, but anyway, that's a quick, brief rundown on everything that was done on the bike. And if you like what you see, like and subscribe. If you have any questions about the hanging rev, the plastic, or the oil change, just put it in the comments. Take care. One final tip that I forgot to mention is make sure your engine oil is hot when you change it to maximize the amount of flow that comes out and the amount of sediment you get out of the engine. Also, you don't see it here in the video, but I do straighten the bike out and remove the cap to get everything out. Just one more thing. And again, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you with another one soon.